Aiyuk trade rumors, guys, are flying around off the boards, off of the rumor mills yet again. We talked about the Dak rumor mill last night, and now we're going to talk about the Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors, guys. And this is yet another offseason full of Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors, and probably yet another offseason where nothing happens with the Brandon Aiyuk trade rumors. But we're going to discuss it. We are going to discuss because Brandon Aiyuk is coming off an ACL tear back from Week 7 in the 2024 NFL season. And after he missed the first 2 weeks with a contract dispute with the San Francisco 49ers, he did end up signing a 4-year, $120 million deal. Guys, the question tonight is very, very simple. Should the San Francisco 49ers trade Brandon Aiyuk? Should they totally wipe the slate clean of everybody from their Super Bowl run except for Brock Purdy and just get all new guys? 49ers GM John Lynch says, when you get a call about Brandon Aiyuk, you have to listen. And when I first heard those, when I first read those lines, when John Lynch said that in a NBC Bay Area column just today, I was like, why do you got to listen to these calls? Mr. Lynch, Mr. John Lynch, Mr. Hall of Fame, or should be, is he a Hall of Famer, safety, whatever. He was a freaking dog in the NFL. He knows how the NFL works. Why do you got to field these calls about Brandon Aiyuk if you really love the guy? I mean, you gave him a 4-year, $120 million deal. To me, that sounds like love. That doesn't sound like lust. That doesn't sound like shut up money. That sounds like you were in love with the guy. And then 5 games later, a season later, you have to field these calls? Guys, what does that tell you about Brandon Aiyuk? We talked about cancers in locker rooms. We've talked about Stephon Diggs being a cancer. We talked about Keenan Allen being a cancer. Is Brandon Aiyuk a cancer as well? Or, hear me out, we know that every NFL wide receiver has to have a little bit of ego in them, right? It is almost as if you have to have an ego to play wide receiver in the NFL and be good and be elite, right? But that comment right there really threw me off. And that comment right there alone made me want to talk about this tonight and present this to you guys and have a healthy conversation. Now, the 49ers have been slashing the caps this season. Anybody that's making over like $10 million, you're getting cut. You're getting cut. You're getting traded. We're going to restructure your deal all to make room for Brock Purdy. Now, obviously, Brock Purdy is going to get a $55, $60 million deal. Does he deserve it? That's a story for another day. That's a story for next week after the April 1st deadline to see if Brandon Aiyuk is in San Francisco or not. But there have been teams, the reported teams that are interested in Brandon Aiyuk are the Cleveland Browns, are the New England Patriots, and are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're all in talk with the 49ers last season, and then this year they are in talk with them again. They want them some Brandon Aiyuk, and it was reported last season that the Steelers actually had a deal done to bring Brandon Aiyuk to Pittsburgh, but Brandon Aiyuk's like, nah, I don't want to go to Pittsburgh. I don't want to go to Pennsylvania. I don't want to play in the cold. Then he ended up signing that 4-year, $120 million deal. Now, obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers do have DK Metcalf as of right now. So I don't know why they're calling the San Francisco 49ers right now. I think that is just a carryover from last season. But the two teams that I feel that are definitely calling them are the Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots. Now, the reason that I threw April 1st out there is because as of April 1st, if Brandon Aiyuk is on the San Francisco 49ers roster after April 1st, he is due a $22.8 million roster bonus. And if I think a trade is going to happen, and if a trade is imminent, it will happen before the April 1st deadline. Why would you just waste $23 million just to ship him off to another team? Seems a little bit silly. It's a different story with Kirk Cousins and just the $10 million because you already paid him $90 million anyway. That's just extra $10 million, whatever. But $22.8 million is a big chunk of money, especially when you're planning to play Brock Purdy before the 2025 NFL season starts. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, right? I said the teams like the Cleveland Browns. I said team like the New England Patriots. We heard the Pittsburgh Steelers had a trade with Brandon Aiyuk last season lined up. Brandon Aiyuk nixed it. But a team that has been heavily talking to the San Francisco 49ers is a team right in that area. A team that used to be in the Bay, a team that wears black and silver, a team that desperately needs a wide receiver and likes to overpay for players, period, and that is the Las Vegas Raiders. Guys, it has been reported that the Las Vegas Raiders have offered swapping first and second round picks and a third round pick for Brandon Aiyuk. So basically, the 49ers move up to 6, the Raiders drop back down to 11, and then they swap the second picks as well, and then the 49ers want him to throw in a third round pick to make this trade happen. To me, that sounds like a lot. To me, that sounds like a hell of a deal for the San Francisco 49ers and potentially a playoff implication move for the Las Vegas Raiders. So when we hear this trade offer, swap the first round picks, swap the second round picks, and the Las Vegas Raiders give the San Francisco 49ers their third round pick, all for Brandon Aiyuk. If you are a Las Vegas Raider, do you do that? Is it too much? Is it just enough, or is it just right? Guys, we know that the Las Vegas Raiders are in desperate need of a wide receiver. We know that they need a receiver. Yes, Jacoby Myers did come on late last season. We talked about it last night. He did come on late last season. Is he a true number one guy? Hell no. Brock Bowers broke all types of tight end rookie records his first season. He is freaking awesome, right? Yes, he is going to start to get double teamed if you don't start adding some wide receiver help in there. Guys, I do like Brandon Aiyuk as a player. He seems to go out there and get all the dirty work for you. He goes over the middle, he can go deep, and he runs routes seemingly pretty well. Now, I have not really truly broke down Brandon Aiyuk film. When I watched the games of the San Francisco 49ers, I watched the receivers. So I go from left to right when I watch the receivers on the catch 22 all tape. And Brandon Aiyuk seemed to do things right. Now, if we really go in there and really start to dissect the film of Brandon Aiyuk, yes, we will see flaws in his game. Yes, we will see that he is not a top 10, top 15 receiver in the NFL. Yes, we will see a lot of red flags about him. But on the surface, he will change the fortune of the Las Vegas Raiders. On the surface, he would come in and instantly make the Las Vegas Raiders an 8-9 win team. If I am the Las Vegas Raiders, 6 is a tough pick anyways. Like, what do you really do at number 6 if you're the Las Vegas Raiders? Do you draft Jackson Dart? Do you try to move up and get Shedeur Sanders? Like, what do you really do at 6, what you can't do at 11? Swapping those picks, to me, is not a big deal. Second round, I don't know where they're at in the second round, but I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty close in the same as well, right? But the third round pick is where a lot of money is made. A third round pick is where a lot of your value picks are made, and that is where you can get your quarterback of the future, potentially, aka Will Howard. That is where you could potentially get some running backs and some old linemen and a linebacker, which you need some linebacker help. Guys, if I was a Las Vegas Raiders fan, which I am not, I want to put that out there. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Chiefs Nation, baby. Chiefs Kingdom. But if I am rooting for the Las Vegas Raiders, I am saying, yes, do this deal. I am saying, yes, swap our first round picks, and I'll give you a third round pick as well. I am saying, yes, do it. 100%. So what do you guys think? Does Brandon Aiyuk to the Las Vegas Raiders make sense? Does Brandon Aiyuk to the Las Vegas Raiders make them a playoff team, make them a better team? Does Brandon Aiyuk to pretty much any team make them better? Patriots, Cleveland, or the Las Vegas Raiders. Those are the 3 teams that I think he has the potential to go to, and I think the Raiders makes the most sense. Let's Go Sports says, I highly doubt it. I feel like everyone gets rumored to the Raiders, and it actually happens a 4th or 5th of the time. That's why I was surprised by the Geno Smith trade, but Geno, Aiyuk, and Bowers is nice. So, Let's Go Sports. First of all, thank you for being here again tonight, man. I definitely support, love your support, right? But the reason why so many players get rumored to the Las Vegas Raiders the last couple seasons, last 3 seasons, is because they have so much cap there, right? John, correct me if I'm wrong, but they had over $120 million to start this offseason in like cap space to bring in players. And the only player they really brought in was Geno Smith on a trade. Like, they still have a lot of cap space to bring in a lot of players. So they can afford to pay Brandon Aiyuk. They can afford to pay Keenan Allen. They could afford to pay Stephon Diggs as well. They have chose not to pull on the trigger yet. But the reason why so many players get rumored to go to the Las Vegas Raiders is because they need so much help. They never execute the draft well enough to really be like, you know what? Now they're a playoff-bound team. Now they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Now they're this, and this, right? That's the reason why they're rumored to go there so often, because everything makes sense. The Raiders really have no clear direction. Are they going to be a running team? Are they going to be a passing team? Are they going to be a defensive dominant team? They don't have a clear direction, like year after year, and that's tough. That is tough if you are a Raiders fan. And as a Chiefs fan, like, I was worried there for a couple seasons when you guys started to roll a little bit, right? Derek Carr was there. Chucky was your head coach, right? Devontae Adams was coming into like town, and then you fired Chucky. You traded Derek Carr, and then we don't know what to do with our hands anymore. It is tough to be a Raiders fan, I am sure. Much like a Cleveland Browns fan, it's got to be tough. Got to be tough. Old Man River says rebuild mode in San Francisco, and like, I don't understand why. They were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Yes, last year they did miss the playoffs. They were also plagued by injuries. Yes, their depth did not perform as well as the Detroit Lions' depth, right? But the San Francisco 49ers have a system offensive team where it is plug and play for a lot of those players. Now, I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey is a plug and play running back, right? But he definitely excels in that system. Brock Purdy is a system quarterback, right? We are going to see that. Deebo Samuel is a system wide receiver there. Like, I don't understand why they are so focused on rebuilding around Brock Purdy and paying him some ungodly amount of money when you are a plug and play system legitimately on the offensive side of the ball. If I'm a 49ers fan, like, I'm kind of confused as well. Like, why are we trading everybody? Why are we cutting everybody? Like, why are we doing this? And honestly, like, I mean, if you are a Cardinals fan, if you're a Rams fan, if you're a Seahawks fan, do it, 49ers. Play Brock Purdy that $60 million. Let him tear his PCL yet again for the third time in 6 years, right? That is tough. That's tough. Alpha Rob says that group of 49ers went as far as they could go. They couldn't win it twice. Alpha Rob, you bring a lot of validity into this, and maybe you are right. Maybe maybe Old Man River and like Alpha Rob, maybe you guys are correct. Maybe, you know, you've had the band together for 7 years and you are great at local shows, but you just never able to jump into that national stage into that national stage. Like you are never able to headline a 15 city tour. I mean, that doesn't mean that you're not good, but I'm going to take these young guys and we're going to build a new band and we're going to make it to the national stage. And maybe you guys are right. Maybe they are in rebuild mode because they are just best. They are Super Bowl runners up. Best they are bridesmaids. Yes, they are you know, the Lady of Honor, what the hell it's called. Like, maybe that's just as good as they are. And breaking it up, yeah, we might be down in 2025. Yeah, we might be down a little bit in 2026, but 2027, baby, look out. Like, I guess I agree with that to an extent. I guess I can get behind that to an extent, but man, as a 49ers fan, that's got to be tough because you were there twice, right? What, in the last 4 years they've been there twice? Was it 5 years. I don't know. They've been there twice in the last at least 6 years, right? They should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs the first year. Kyle Shanahan shit the bed. The following time, they just simply just sucked, right? I mean, Alpha Rob, Oldman Ribbon, like, guys, I apologize. You guys are right, and I was wrong. Like, I think you guys are right. Let's Go Sports. I highly doubt they trade because they traded away Debo, and if they did trade him receiver-wise, it would just be Pearsall Kittle, and that won't get it done regardless that you have Christian McCaffrey. And you are right to an extent, Let's Go Sports. Ricky Pascal definitely would fill that Brandon Aiyuk spot. Like, first of all, Debo Samuel was a jack of all trades, right? Before Christian McCaffrey was there, he was running the ball, he was passing the ball. Hell, even when Brock Purdy, like, he went down, didn't he play quarterback? But if they were to trade Brandon Aiyuk, there are some good receivers in this year's draft. And you would have the number 6 overall pick at that particular time, and you could go get a receiver. But Juan Jennings and Ricky Pascal both are pretty good receivers. And let's not forget that they picked up Demarcus Robinson. Did he play with the Rams or Bears last? But either way, like, he is on his, third team in 3 years or fourth team in 4 years. He is a decent receiver. Yes, it would hurt not having Brandon Aiyuk out there, but hear me out. If they were to trade Brandon Aiyuk away, whether it's to the Browns, whether it's to the Patriots, which Patriots seem to be a little bit far-fetched too, which to have Hollins and Diggs now, and Booty and whatnot. But I digress. There are free agents out there that could come in and fill the role of a Brandon Aiyuk, a.k.a. Amari Cooper. If the 49ers were to get rid of Brandon Aiyuk, Amari Cooper would fit in there pretty nice. There's also some other free agent receivers out there that would fit in there pretty nice. Pretty nice like. Yes, I do know that McCole Hardman did just sign with the Green Bay Packers, but he will probably end up being cut. He is just a low man on the pole. You can always pick him up, bring him in there, right? You still have Tyler Lockett out there. Tyler Lockett is still a very serviceable wide receiver. Much like Brandon Aiyuk, kind of short, fast, and shifty, right? He would slide in there nicely too. Now he is 33 years old, 32 years old, a little bit older, but could be that nice bridge gap guy. And Old Man River says, hell no, I don't want Brandon Aiyuk. I want Gentry, baby. Listen, Gentry is a great pickup. I mean, if you look at the can't miss products, right? When you look at the NFL draft, Gentry has it all. He has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the breakaway speed, he can run you over, but he does have a lot of wear on those old tires. He is a little long in the tooth. Kind of reminds me of Ron Dane coming out of college, right? Ron Dane had a lot of upside. He was dominant at Wisconsin. Come in and just the wheels fell off because he was tired. Now, I'm not saying Gentry is going to be tired, but 3-4 years down the road, maybe we start to see a little bit wear and tear on his body. We will see. James Frank says the Raiders should do that. The Browns offered a 4th-round pick and Greg Newsome, and they wanted a 3rd, and I said that is too much for a guy coming off that injury. Aiyuk is a dog, though, and I'd say I'd love him to join our squad, says James Frank. First of all, James Frank's squad is the Cleveland Browns, so let's just make that perfectly clear. And James Frank is all aboard about Dak Prescott coming to the Cleveland Browns for Greg Newsome and the 2nd overall pick. But if I was the Cleveland Browns and I don't know which way I'm going, can I legitimately take on the 4-year, $20 million deal with a receiver that is coming off the ACL in injury and a receiver that you don't know if he's going to be 100%? Because now you have a lot of money wrapped up in Myles Garrett making the, $40 million a season, $45 million a season, plus Brandon Aiyuk making the $120 million over the next 3 seasons. Like, that is a lot of money. Plus Deshaun Watson, you still have all of his cap still wrapped up. That is tough to put all that money into a receiver and an edge rusher and still not have a quarterback? Well, Kenny Pickett, but you still don't have a quarterback.
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
I mean, James, I like it if Dak Prescott's coming to like town. John is also a pigskin punter. What's up, John? He says, yeah, it makes sense to the Raiders, but doesn't make them a playoff team. They need more help than Brandon Aiyuk. But John, the Raiders had a top 10 defense the last 3 weeks of the last 2 NFL seasons. But John, the Las Vegas Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs Christmas Day back in 2023. But John, Antonio Pierce is the coach of the future. But John, Tom Brady's now part owner. But John, now we got Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. John, you might be right, man. You might be right. Maybe I'm gaslighting the Raiders just a little bit. Maybe I'm gaslighting them just a tad bit. But it certainly makes them better. It definitely takes pressure off of Geno Smith and Brock Bowers. It takes pressure off of the running back, what's his name, White. Takes pressure off of him as well. Also takes pressure off of that defense, so maybe you can start scoring a little bit of points. We do like points, right? We do like points. I'm just saying. And John says 128. What are you talking about, brother? What? What does 128 even mean, dog? And like John says, the Patriots do make sense as well. I would say the Patriots made sense before the Stephon Diggs signing. The Patriots would make perfect sense before the Stephon Diggs signing. They had a lot of they had a lot of cap space, but now the receiver core looks pretty loaded, right? They still have Hunter Henry and like Austin Hooper at the tight ends, right? They have Stephon Diggs, Douglas, Booty, Kendrick Bourne, and Mac Hollins, and forgot about Jalen Polk, right? That receiver core is decent. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's a top 5, but if Stephon Diggs is 100%, and if Drake May can come in and perform like he did last season, the 4 or 5 games when they actually did well, that is a top 10 receiving core without Brandon Aiyuk. With Brandon Aiyuk, which spot does he take? Do you make Stephon Diggs a number 2 and Brandon Aiyuk a 1? Like that is tough, right? That is tough. John also comes and says the Browns, I don't think makes any sense to do. They have no funds to take him on. I agree, my man. Real McCoy's back in the chat today. What's up, Real McCoy? Hope you're having a good day, man. Hit that like button for me if you don't mind. He says San Francisco quarterback will not be getting them to a Super Bowl. But he has. Granted, he did come in relief after what's his face got hurt. Oh, Jimmy G. But he did lead them to a Super Bowl. He is going to get a lot of money. James Frank says, poor Kittle, suck it in the mess now. George Kittle is definitely stuck in the sauce. But that is what you get when you are the best player on the worst team, right? Jim says it's the 49ers. Who really cares? It's the 49ers. It's the West Coast team. Who cares? Nobody really cares, right? And James Frank says Gentry is going to be a dog in the league. We're going to talk about Gentry coming up, guys, up here in fact or crap. So actually,